So here we are, another autumn. Leaves are falling all around. There's a bit of crispness in the air. The apple pickers are out in droves. It's a wonderful time of year. Once again, it's all about family and being close and getting ready for colder days that are on their way. I love this time of year. I love it for all the color, for all the coziness, and all the different flavors and smells. The sweet smell of apples, pumpkins in all their colors, and the leaves. I just adore this time of year. But it also symbolizes change, that we're going into another phase, that we are going into darker, colder days, but there's always that hope beyond it, that there is something better, something more amazing to come. So I like to reflect, to be thankful for all the interesting pens, all the interesting experiences that I've had this year, and there have been many. So join me today, won't you, as I reflect on the 5 most amazing fountain pens that I am thankful for this year. So it was high summer when my family and I ventured out to Chicago for the Atlas Stationers Sidewalk Sale, which is a fountain pen show, basically. So many vendors, so many wonderful people, such an incredible event. Plus, the city itself was so amazing, and it was such a joy to experience it with my family. Now, I was there, and we had a little booth with the pen addict, who is an absolute wonderful guy, and meeting him and forming a friendship with him was one of the highlights of my year. A couple of tables away was Pilot. So each time I did the rounds, or anytime I kind of wandered off, and there were many occasions when I wandered off, I was playing with the different Urushi fountain pens, and I couldn't make up my mind. There were just so many, between the 845, which is just perfectly proportioned, or the Pilot Custom Urushi, which is a lot of pen, but it's absolutely glorious. I couldn't get this pen out of my mind, and I have found when I get like that, and I do get like that often, where I'm obsessed with a pen, where I'm thinking about it when I'm not around it, that it's probably something very, very special to me, and I should listen. I should listen with my heart, and if it means that much, I should just take the plunge and just buy it. But of course, this is not an inexpensive pen, but nevertheless, I couldn't stop thinking about it. So, I believe it was the next day, talked to my good buddy Brendan Schmidt, ended up buying the fountain pen. I've been obsessed with it ever since. And as often happens, the pen itself becomes a symbol of more. It's a symbol of that time I spent in Chicago, the friendships I made, and all the wonderful people from the channel that I met. But this fountain pen, this exquisite Urushi rich red fountain pen, has been in my pen case since I've owned it. I absolutely adore this number 30 Pilot nib. It is soft, expressive, it has a bit of straight shoulders to it, so you get a glorious downstroke, and if you do apply some pressure, you can even get a hint of line variation. I'm not a heavy writer myself. I find it exhausting after a while. I like to glide. I like wispy lines, and this pen does that gloriously. I love the materials. I love the heritage of 10,000 years, essentially, of Japanese decorative art. And this pen has a bit of luminous about it. And that is somewhat reined in by the black and the gold, which gives it a little bit more of a business pen feel. It has a lot of desk presence. It's a glorious and fantastic pen for signing your name. At 140 millimeters, it fits into your hand perfectly, or at least my larger hands. I think if you have smaller hands, I would try it first. It rests right there on my perlicue as I guide it across the page. I never post this pen. I'm sure you could, but I don't see any need. I think that would make it very back heavy. The other thing I do want to note is that the converter is a Con 70 converter. I think for $1,600 US, it would have been nicer if they had some more robust, some more interesting fill mechanism. But wouldn't this pen be something with a vac fill? I don't want to detract from this. It just has so much going for it, from its blue feed, which is really interesting, to just the way it writes. And it's hard for me to use this pen and not think of all the friends that I have in Chicago and the warm welcome that city gave to me and my family, and the Schmidt family welcomed my family with open arms. It's something I'll never forget, and that experience and this fountain pen will live in my heart forever, and I'm just so thankful for it. The next fountain pen I want to speak about also has an amazing story with it, and this is from what I think is the most underappreciated and underrated fountain pen brand out there, and that's Waterman. I adore Waterman pens. I think they're brilliant. I love the Quran. I love my old Charleston, and of course I adore my Edson, but I'm not going to be speaking about the Edson today. I actually did last year. So this is a very special Waterman fountain pen that I bought early in the year when I was going through my no pen buying phase, which is now firmly over. But in those days, I was waiting for that Wes Anderson pen. But once again, the Waterman Reflections of Paris Karen was just embedded in my imagination. I just love that palladium cap with all those ripples that are meant to evoke the Seine, how incredibly reflective and luminous it looked, and I wanted to try it out for myself. I also loved how the silver and the gold mixed, which is really rare, because most of the time I feel like silver and gold do not belong together. But here they look rich and harmonious, and I think it's partly because it ties into its title, Reflections of Paris. And I think of the Seine at night and how the different lights reflect on it and what that looks like. And I feel that this pen really encapsulates that. And how do I know? Because I had the opportunity to take this pen to Paris, to bring it back to where it was born, what it is meant to represent, and feel what it was like to write in a cafe with it within those surroundings. And it was absolutely brilliant. Now, ironically enough, I never did a video that focuses on how this pen ties in directly with Paris, because I had just released one on Waterman and the Karen. But nevertheless, this was about me. It was a fantastic week we spent in Paris, my entire family, and being with this fantastic fountain pen with its beautiful balance, that inlaid nib that looks like a bow of a boat, the incredible cap that is so reflective and pretty. This is a fantastically beautiful fountain pen. Now, I will say that if you were asking me which Karen should I get, I would say get the basic one. The basic black is about $220 or so at the time of filming. That's a fantastic price for this pen that writes as well as a pen 3 or 4 times as expensive. The Reflections of Paris is up around $400. That's a lot more money for a decorative cap. So unless you're really into aesthetics, or it speaks to you the way it spoke to me and sort of tied in with this family trip, then perhaps it's better to be a little bit demure in your choices. And of course, the amber is one of the most beautiful pens out there. But Waterman pens are fantastic. I began my fountain pen journey with Waterman 30 years ago, and I'm circling back to it. I keep focusing in on them. I keep coming back. I just think it's the perfect spot between more luxurious pens and super affordable pens. They are aspirational, but not obnoxiously expensive. I feel very fulfilled when I write with it. It doesn't let me down. It's smooth, it's expressive, it's interesting, it's a unique design. It's not something you see repeated by other makers. I do love uniqueness, and this pen has it. So I will always think of my days in Paris, being at the cafes with my beautiful wife, seeing my daughter just glow when she saw the works of art at the Musée d'Orsay in the Louvre, how her eyes were just filled with joy and wonder when she finally got to see the Eiffel Tower. You can't underestimate those kinds of memories. That's what life is about. Being with family, discovering new things, making new friends, and writing, journaling, and recording your thoughts along the way. I will forever be thankful for this Watchman Karen. It's an absolute beauty, and I had a blast with it in Paris. Well, you won't believe my next choice. So earlier this year, I had an opportunity to work with a brand of fountain pen that I knew about but had never tried, and people in my comments were always saying, you have to try Yard of Lead. So when they reached out and said they were willing to send a pen that I could make a video on, I said, sure, please do. And they sent the Viceroy Grand in Barleycorn, an absolute stunner of a pen in sterling that is just so beautiful, so sort of quintessentially English. It looks like a relic from 100 years ago, and I adore those old-fashioned fountain pens that have the flat tops that just look like this. And to find a modern manufacturer that's still making them in that style, in the same way, with the same machines, all these years later is just really inspiring for me. The workmanship on these pens is done by hand, skilled hands, and it's a beauty to behold. And it's so bright and reflective, it's almost tough to photograph, but I had a blast taking this to the Crane Estate with my family and filming there. I was surrounded by Gatsby era luxury, and I was able to photograph this pen in a really interesting scene in this historic house in Ipswich, Massachusetts, which if you ever get a chance to visit, please do. It's absolutely gorgeous and the grounds are amazing. But this pen reminds me of everything I love about fountain pens, and that is that you never know what else is out there, what's going to inspire you, what's going to have an original take on a concept or resurrect one from the past and just beguile and delight you with an incredible, beautiful writing experience. My only really big notch against this company is they don't use their own nibs. I wish they did. I hope they do at some point. I do get why people go to nib makers, but it's better if they add a little something when they do. The other detraction was that I feel the cap is a little difficult to get on and off, and it worries me that I'm going to scratch it. So I probably don't carry this pen as much as I like, but boy, does it look beautiful on my desk. It is just such an incredible sort of relic of a more civilized and elegant age that reminds me of all the beauty and possibilities in the world and always keeps me writing and makes me feel almost like I'm Jay Gatsby when I'm journaling with it. So it's an absolutely brilliant pen from a fantastic brand that are very nice, very great, interesting people. We had fantastic conversations as I was crafting the video, and I appreciate them so much. So the Yard of Lead Viceroy Grand in Barleycorn is just one of the highlights of my year, and one fountain pen I'm very thankful for. Another fountain pen that I am very thankful for this year might come as a surprise because I speak about it a lot on the channel, but there's a reason, so bear with me. This is the Pilot Custom 823, which I believe is probably the perfect fountain pen. I get it if you don't like vac fills, but for me, I like having a unique fill system. I love Pilot. I'm proud of their quality control at every level. This nib on the Pilot Custom 823 is fantastic. It is the perfect balance between smoothness and feedback that you can find anywhere. It's such a unique writing experience that I feel like it stands on its own. It is comparable to any other fountain pen at any price. You could buy a Mont Blanc, you could buy a Visconti, but you need the PC 823 to get that essence of PC 823-ness. It's only in that pen. And, you know, maybe this 743 too. But that's what's so amazing about it. I love individual fountain pens with their own characteristics. But why am I so thankful for it this year? Well, for one very special reason. It hit its 25-year anniversary, so happy birthday, Pilot Custom 823. I wish Pilot had made more of a big deal about it. They should have released a special edition for the 25th anniversary. I released a very special video on it. Pilot was very, very kind in giving me some specific information that I don't think has been revealed elsewhere. And I love this fountain pen. It's one I go back to again and again. It's so fun to fill. It's so fun to write with. It's a fantastic pen. It's starting to get a little expensive. It's starting to knock up on $400. I liked it better when it was $330. It's around $380 or so now. But still, considering the writing experience is as good as any $1,000 pen, it still has a lot of value. And it's a fountain pen I absolutely adore and am very thankful for this year. This year, I was also able to work with that incredible madman, Ben Walsh from Gravitas, to see some of his newer offerings, and he sent over the Monster, which is an absolute beast of a fountain pen with its 7 milliliter capacity, super fun to fill, hard to run out of ink. I mean, for productivity, for longevity, you could write with that pen forever. The nibs are made with custom specs for Ben. They are very smooth. They perform flawlessly. The pen itself looks like a lava lamp, and I love the aesthetics of it. I wish it had a clip. I can't convince him to put clips on it. I've tried. But I do adore this pen. I appreciate him sending it. It's been a blast using it. It is one of those that I keep on my desk. Always performs whenever I need it. Recently, I was writing a postcard and the pen that I had ran out of ink, and the Monster almost never runs out of ink. So it was great to use as a backup and to be able to finish what I was writing. And Ben is a fantastic, interesting guy to work with. I know the company has had some fulfillment issues, some customer service issues, but Ben believes all of that's worked out now. He's partnered, he's changed his systems, he's doing all the right steps. So we'll see where that goes. But absolutely fantastic to have that kind of friendship with someone who is the mad scientist of fountain pens, who's pushing the edges of materials, of production, of design, and coming up with some glorious fountain pens that don't lose the heart and soul of a pen. He doesn't push it so far that it's beyond the definitions, if you know what I mean. But using medical grade acrylics, brushed aluminium, carbon fiber, all these interesting materials in creative ways, it's just amazing, fun to use, fun to behold, and I appreciate Ben and his friendship. I want to give a quick final mention to the Lamy Safari. This was the year I was able to get the 2 original colors, terracotta and savannah. They're absolutely brilliant. They remind me of everything that's glorious about a Lamy Safari and really ties me in with their roots, with this sort of late 70s, early 80s color scheme. I adore the Lamy Safari, and as the years have progressed, my relationship with it has just grown deeper. It's a pen I go back to to again and again. It's not one I need to worry about. It's fantastic if I'm out in the field, at a museum, if I want to throw something in my bag, in my pocket, in my work bag, whatever I want to do. These pens are robust. They're fun to use. They're always with you, and they have some excellent nibs. A lot of affordable pens don't come in a lot of different nibs. It's sort of how they keep them affordable. They give you fine or medium as a choice. But with Lamy, there are so many choices, not least of which is the absolute glorious 1.1 stub, which is also marketed as a calligraphy nib. That is a glorious nib with a lot of interesting line variation. I just highly recommend it. They had that cursive nib out for a while with the kanji symbol on it, which was brilliant. I love that one. I'm glad I got it. It doesn't seem to be available anymore. But Lamy Safari, the original colors, it just warms my heart. So this is such a great time to just take stock of all the wonderful things we have in our lives and how important family and connections are. I started this channel just to make some connections with you, to learn all I could from you, to present it, to grow the knowledge within the fountain pen community and just contribute a bit of entertainment, some different perspectives, some new ways of thinking about writing, about fountain pens, and just make this community as welcoming and as large as I could. And I've learned so much from you. Cannot thank you enough. And that goes doubly for the members of this channel. You guys mean the world to me. And of course, I want to thank my wonderful family. We've seen Imogen grow up in these last 4 years that I've had this channel. Now she's journaling, she's writing with a Lamy Safari in her journal, and it's the cutest thing, and she's doing it all over the world. It's wonderful to see her just becoming this incredibly interesting and expressive person. And of course, my wife, whose love and support means the world to me. I wouldn't be who I am and doing what I do if it weren't for her. She's just everything. And of course, for you, thank you for being here. I appreciate it so much. I'm wishing the best for you, the best things you can have in your life too. And here's to what's ahead. It's going to get cold. It's going to get bumpy, but the light will return again. The spring will bloom. The summer will blossom. It will all repeat again, and you will get through it. So thank you so much for watching, and if you've reached this point in the video, you have to subscribe. I'm sorry, it's just the way it works, and I would appreciate it. I'd love to have you on this journey with us. And if you want to support the channel even more and to help to keep the lights on, then there's a membership program. And for Illuminati and Cognoscenti members, you can join our pen pal group. It's a lot of fun. You'll meet people all over the world. So I make new videos each week, and I have a live show as well. So I can promise you, we will see each other again very, very soon, further up the road. So take care of yourself.